Have you ever loved someone so deeply, yet somehow they never left your heart? Even when life pulled you apart. No matter how many people you meet, no matter how far you go, you still feel a pull toward them, like your souls are quietly waiting for the right time to meet again. In this video, I'm going to share 5 rare signs that reveal when two people are truly destined to be together, and why this kind of connection is so rare, so powerful, and so unforgettable. If you've ever wondered why some connections never fade, stay with me, because this might be your story. Some connections don't fade, even when people walk away. Some hearts never forget, even after years of silence, and some love stories don't end. They wait. Have you ever noticed how someone can disappear from your life, yet never disappear from your heart? No matter how many years pass, no matter how many new faces you meet, no matter how much you tell yourself it's over, somewhere inside you they still live, not as pain, not as regret, but as a quiet presence, like a song you haven't heard in years, yet somehow still remember every word. People will tell you, move on, let it go, it wasn't meant to be. But what if some connections are not meant to end? What if some souls are designed to find each other again, through distance, mistakes, timing, and silence? This video isn't about fantasy. It's about real life, real emotions, real human psychology. These are 5 rare signs that appear when two people are truly destined to be together. Signs most people ignore. Signs most people misunderstand. Signs that only make sense when you've lived them. If you've ever loved someone you couldn't forget, stay with me. Sign 1. No matter how far you go, you always find your way back to each other. One of the strangest things about destined connections is this: they don't disappear. They pause. Life separates you. Careers happen. Families happen. Mistakes happen. Distance happens. You both move forward, at least on the surface. You meet new people. You build new routines. You create new versions of yourself. And from the outside, it looks like you've moved on. But inside, there's still a quiet pull. Sometimes it shows up in dreams, sometimes in memories, sometimes in random moments, a place, a smell, a song that suddenly brings them back. You tell yourself that chapter is closed. Yet somehow you keep crossing paths again, a message after years, a chance meeting, a coincidence that feels too precise to be random, and every time it happens, it feels familiar, not awkward, not strange, comfortable, like coming home after being lost. When two people are destined, they don't vanish from each other's lives. They return, again and again, until the timing finally makes sense. Sign 2. You understand each other without needing words. When two people are truly destined, something unusual happens. They begin to understand each other without explanations. You sense their mood the moment they enter a room. You hear pain in their voice, even when they say, "I'm fine." You feel their distance before they admit they're struggling, and they feel the same about you. You don't need to perform. You don't need to impress. You don't need to explain who you are. You can be tired, you can be quiet, you can be confused, and they still understand you, because this connection was never built on appearances. It was built on emotional recognition. Even after time passes, even after separation, that understanding remains. You can meet after years apart, exchange only a few words, and feel like no time has passed. Most relationships rely on communication, but destined connections rely on intuition. They don't hear you with their ears. They hear you with their heart. Sign 3. No matter who you date, you still compare them. When two people are destined, their connection doesn't disappear when they date others. You enter new relationships with hope. You tell yourself this time will be different, and sometimes it is. But quietly, without trying, comparisons begin. You notice how this person laughs, and remember how the other one did. You notice how they listen, and remember how deeply you were once understood. You notice how they hold your hand, and remember how safe you once felt. You're not comparing people, you're comparing connections. Destined connections leave fingerprints on your soul. They shape what love feels like. They set the standard. And no matter how many new chapters you start, that original story still whispers in the background. Sign 4. You grow separately, but in the same direction. Sometimes people meet the right soul at the wrong time. You love each other, but you don't yet know how to protect that love. You want forever, but you haven't learned emotional safety. So life separates you, not as punishment, but as preparation. You grow apart. You learn different lessons. They learn accountability. You learn boundaries. They learn patience. You learn self-worth. Years later, if life brings you together again, you're not the same people. You're wiser, stronger, more emotionally grounded. The problems that once destroyed you no longer exist because you've outgrown them. Separation wasn't the end. It was training. Sign 5. No matter what happens, you never truly let go. Letting go is never clean when a connection is real. You may stop talking. You may stop seeing each other. But you don't stop carrying them. They live quietly inside you, in certain songs, in certain places, in certain memories that arrive without permission. You don't erase them. You integrate them. And one day, you may realize you don't want them back. You don't wish things were different. You simply wish them well. That's not attachment. That's respect. That's gratitude. That's emotional maturity. And that is the final sign of a destined connection. If this story felt like someone gently read your memories out loud, it's because you've lived this. You loved deeply. You lost quietly. You carried them silently. And that is not weakness. That is depth. Before you go, complete this sentence honestly in the comments. The one person I never forgot taught me. Write it for yourself, for healing, for closure. And if this video touched you, stay with Cyclones. You are not alone. Your story matters. Always. Before you leave, take one last moment with yourself. If this video stayed with you longer than you expected, if certain words felt uncomfortably familiar, if one person quietly returned to your thoughts without being invited, that's not weakness. That's honesty. You didn't imagine what you felt. You didn't exaggerate what you shared. And you didn't fail because it didn't last. Some connections aren't meant to stay in your life forever. They're meant to stay in your becoming. They teach you depth. They teach you vulnerability. They teach you what real connection feels like, so you never settle for less again. And if someone from your past still lives softly in your heart, it doesn't mean you're stuck. It means you loved sincerely. So before you scroll away, I want you to do one quiet thing for yourself. In the comments, complete this sentence honestly. The one person I never forgot taught me. Write it without explaining, without justifying, without protecting anyone's image. Write it for closure. Write it for growth. Write it because your story deserves to be acknowledged. And if this space feels safe to you, if these words feel like home, stay with Cyclones. You're not alone in this journey. And your story, it matters. Always.